they are not why you scheduled this. Is that correct? Like, but is there more? They're making me.
Yes.
There's more. Yeah. Okay. How do you understand the young male coming forward?
My daughter's dad passed away.
Is that why we're here?
Yes.
Okay. Because so the one that I'm looking at right here next to, her dad's also passed.
Yes.
Okay. Because I heard my girl, my girl. Wow. Okay. Okay, so because we have similar losses, I feel similar things. And so now what's gonna happen is I'm asking them to differentiate themselves so I can validate each soul separately.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna just ask some things as far as how they make me feel to validate individuality.
Okay.
Were they both sudden losses, unexpected losses?
Yes.
I saw my platter of like medication and street drugs. There's one on street drugs and one on medicine.
Yeah.
Okay. Take a drink because one of them said you're gonna need to take a drink, but I think he meant not water. I don't know exactly. Okay. So, okay, I'm just going to tell you how I feel and what's kind of happening, and then you just kind of help me connect the dots.
Okay.
They're putting me surrounding by people who do not like it's like wrong time, wrong place, or people like around me. Just there's something about the people around me were not a good fit for me. So do you understand like the circle of people around me that weren't a good fit for me?
I think so.
Almost like I don't know who's giving me this, but it's almost like we could see through the good and like we knew what like the good intentions, but they could never get a grasp on being the good person that we knew them to be, or like the better part of them, the higher self.
Okay.
And they would always go back to maybe old habits, even though they tried to work at it, but it just didn't. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah. It's my oldest daughter's dad.
Okay. Because there's a sense of accountability with you and not understanding you in the way that he should have. Would it be fair to say, because I'm feeling this emotion, where he should have been more understanding and loving to you? There's accountability with how you were made to feel from his words, choices, and actions and decisions.
Okay.
And he's sorry for the pain that he's caused. And I'm coming from a place where I don't think apologies were real big when he was alive. So,
No.
okay, so then then that's
Yeah.
his way of validating who he was as a person and how his soul has learned lessons on the other side.
Okay.
He's like tiptoeing around the process. He's like tiptoeing.
That's what he does.
I'm like, just like get to it. Get to what you're trying to say. But just kind of nerves and like high tension.
I would always say stop beating around the bush, but yeah.
Yes, tiptoeing around. Did he die tragically? Was that a tragic loss?
Yeah, suicide.
They said it was suicide, but we feel like it wasn't suicide.
I feel like something else happened.
Going in that direction of you feeling that it wasn't intentional or it wasn't supposed to have happened.
Yeah.
So know that you should trust that, because he's making me feel that. So the accountability, let me tell you, that's why they took me around the circle of friends around me. Do you feel like somebody was involved?
I do.
Okay, that's where the circle, okay. And then how do you understand who passed from the heart?
That's her dad.
Okay. So was he doing regular things and then his heart just stopped?
Yes.
Okay. He's different.
Yeah.
He's a different soul than the other one.
So. Very much so.
Oh, see, it's so interesting because the pain that I feel associated with his loss is very different too. That makes sense to you?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make you, it's not a negative thing to feel that, by the way. It is something to acknowledge, to know that you did everything in your power for the first soul that came forward. I feel like you did everything in your power to make things work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you were leveled up than him and like try to communicate and try to do the things
Yeah.
proper and good. And for that, he wants to appreciate you for always having the best interest involved. And he's sorry that he didn't see eye to eye with you. And to let go, I don't understand it, but there's something about whatever burdens you carry surrounding his life, as far as maybe you could have done something differently to help him not be where he was or to get where. So letting go of any guilt or burden surrounding his passing. So I don't know if you feel like you could have done something different, or I don't know how that, I don't understand the details, but there's just something about letting go of that burden because it's not yours to carry. Was her dad tall? There's one of them is taller than the other one.
My oldest daughter's dad was taller than her dad.
Okay. Her dad, I felt like was pushing the taller one to the side, and okay, let me kind of take over. So I don't know if he was a little more structured and organized and put together here in relation, but it was just like, let me take my turn or something about moving forward with.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
he seems a little more grounded.
He is very much so.
Okay.
Polar opposites.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why his soul had like taken him to the side and just been like, let me take over. Let me. So were you, he's making me feel the relation and bond. Were you guys together?
Yes.
But were you not married?
We were not married.
Okay. Something with 2 when he died. What's the 2?
That's the month she was born.
February?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you understand the number 7?
It's her birthday, the day she was born.
Oh, that's sweet. Man, he is bragging about her.
He loves her a lot. I know he does.
She's so smart. She's so beautiful. She takes care of her mom. She's an old soul. She understands things. She gets life. She gets it. She gets it. And she doesn't put up with BS. Okay. Sweetie, can I ask, do you feel like you sense your dad around you? Do you feel and sense your dad around you?
Sometimes.
Do you have dreams about him?
Yeah.
So, okay, that's what he's telling me is the dreams are real. So you should know that anyone that has these dreams or visitations, these are real. That's his soul trying to get your attention, trying to remind you that he's okay. So what you feel, because he's making me feel like you're very intuitive. And as you embrace this ability of connection, you should know that your dad is really walking you through life. And I realize you're still fairly young, but it's important that you know that his soul will be present with you when you graduate, when you get married, when you have kids, because he shows me all of these big milestones. And by validating that, he gave me the date of which you were born. And I'm okay with talking on his behalf in that sense, because I need you to know that although his physical body's not here, he's going to be walking through life with you. Were you there with him the whole time?
Yes.
And you saw the process, you saw it happen? Because I'm seeing things happen. And I feel like I could see him go through this. I could see it from your perspective. He shows me it. And I can just feel the energy increase and rise and the anxiety and the adrenaline of not knowing exactly what's going on or what to do. So is this you?
Yes, that's me.
And then you called 911 quick.
Yes.
And he just like, did he keep grabbing here or something? And then like the air, like, did he have a hard time breathing?
Yeah, he like did a gas and fell over.
Okay, because he's making me feel all of these things to say that we need to stop reliving that moment, and we need to stop remembering him in that way, or to connect with his legacy to that memory. But
Mhm.
more importantly, there was nothing that could have prevented his passing. And it's important that we know that if we knew something was wrong, or had we been checked out or whatever, there was no way to prevent him from doing that.
Okay.
And it's interesting because he's like, because were you the last thing he saw?
Yeah.
Because he's like, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I wanted to see you. I wanted you to be the last memory as far as the life. And I think that you should know that you handled everything in the most perfect and elegant way possible. And there was nothing more you could have done. Did you scream? Did you holler?
I
Was there-
did.
Okay, because I keep feeling like I'm hearing like, no, like there's just a lot
Yeah.
of, my legs are numb. Like I literally am paralyzed. Like I feel like I can't move.
Yeah.
You
That's
go
how I
through
felt.
that?
Yeah. And I fell to the ground.
So know that that's his way of validating that his soul's at peace and with God, and we shouldn't worry about his soul. And he's guiding and protecting you guys from the other side. Did you move out of that house?
I did. I
Because
couldn't
he
stay
shows
there
me
anymore.
moving. And the reset, the like kind of a reset, like a reset, restart kind of thing. Have you been able to move on? Because he shows me moving forward, but
Yeah.
so are you with someone else?
Yes.
Because he's showing me you moving on and with someone else.
Yes.
To give you his wishes, his support. Is this guy that you're with though, like did you know him for a while? Like, is there a
I
relation with?
did. He was my tutor back in college. Like my earlier days. Yeah.
To validate, then he knows about your life right now, and he knows about who you're with and and how you're choosing to live your life, and he supports you.
Okay.
But how you guys re-met, or how you like re-established your relationship, he's actually kind of stepping forward and lending a hand with that. So I'm not sure if you guys met in a weird, cool way.
Well, like my sister, like still talked to him, and she was like, I was really depressed, and she was like, let's go to New Orleans, because he was in pharmacy school, and she's like, Chris is gonna let us come over, and so that's how we ended up meeting. And the only thing I could talk about was her dad, like the whole process, and I just kept reliving it over and over and over.
So then you know that he's acknowledging that. He's acknowledging where you are in your life, but more importantly, he supports your life's decisions and choices. And he wants you to truly, truly be happy. Not 80%. So I saw a really nice car. How do we understand the really nice car? I don't know
He
what
had a really nice car.
it's like a really
Yeah, he had a Mercedes.
Okay,
A
perfect.
Mercedes coupe. Yeah,
Sweet. So he took pride in this vehicle of
he
his.
did.
And did he take pride in the way he looked too?
He did.
Because I'm like, I see you, dude. You look good. You look good. Fly. You look fly. So do you often feel like you smell him at times, or smell things that connect to him? Because I just walked through a smell and it made me think of him. So
Yeah,
usually,
sometimes.
so when you do that, or when that happens, his soul is present for that. And what you feel is really him. So was she younger? Was she younger?
Yeah, she was 6 months.
Okay. Do you feel like you could marry the guy you're with right now?
Yes, he asked me to marry him. and we're talking about getting married in like the next 3 to 4 months.
So then you know that this is coming in as strong as it is. So you know that he's not only validating his soul, but also he's so excited for you. He's so supportive, and he's lending a hand in your happiness and joy. And so to truly, fully embrace it,
Okay.
and not feel any guilt or anything about being truly happy where you are. It's like you did not think he was going to die, though. Is that right?
Right.
And he's like, you don't understand. She didn't think I was going to die. And it still took her a long time to really like let it sink in. Like she had to be strong mama and get through and get the funeral stuff and all of that done. And then all the dust settled. And then she became emotional. Then she became broken. So does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
So
That's
know that
it was.
he was with you every step of that way.
Okay.
And how could I do this without him is what I'm hearing. So like when she was 6 months and like going through like how are we doing this without him? How is she gonna live life without a dad? You know, it's like all of these questions. And then I got pissed at God. I got angry at God. And it's like all these questions. And did you stop praying?
Yeah.
So it's just to acknowledge your thoughts and your heart. It's not to encourage anything. It's just to acknowledge he knows about your life. He knows about your well-being. All right. So just know that in your journey of this and you reconfiguring your life and regaining your strength, he's lent a hand in that. So when you have felt the weakest, but yet the strongest,
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
it's him. He keeps making me, he shows me breastfeeding, like breast milk.
I
So
breastfed her.
did you go to like the full year?
Yeah.
So
Until
that,
yeah.
so the way that you parented and the way that you're choosing to parent her, he's so grateful for and appreciative, because that's something that he shows me. Did you struggle with that because your body was in like so much going crazy, but like you had to like learn to control it? Because did it start to impact your ability of developing milk?
Yeah, and she ended up with breast milk jaundice.
Okay, so he's talking about what an incredible way of acknowledging that his soul was present during those days. And to get so pinpointed with breast milk, because I get it, I understand all of the baby stuff. So that's his way of really being able to bring forward something that there's no way I would have known about. And then he's getting specific about the way that you chose to move forward and chose to grow. How do you connect to 4 or April?
That's my birthday and his.
Huh. Okay.
And our anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah.
To just then validate then even more, but to continue to embrace life the way you are. Did you guys do a releasing of balloons for somebody?
Yes, for him.
For him, because okay. So now that his soul was present for that, and he keeps saying, I love and miss you too. So sometimes that means, was there a balloon? Was there messages that said, I love and miss you on it? Or was there any messages?
We wrote little things in them.
Okay. Normally that means that. So where he receives them, saw them, and then this is his opportunity of relaying back a message from that experience with saying, I love and miss you too. Think about writing. And I feel like I'm writing something for him and about him, but I feel like I'm writing it like in a little journal or something. So I don't know. How do you understand that?
I journaled a lot when I was going through all the process, and yeah, I wrote about him.
Okay, so this is you.
And I still have a little journal.
Okay, so what's the 3? How old is your other daughter?
She's just turned 17.
Oh, 17. So 3, 4. So he gave me 3rd, 4, 3, 4.
I'm I'm
the 3 to
34.
4. Oh, you're 34. Oh yeah. Thank you. I just feel less crazy when you connect the dots. I'm like, I saw 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm 34.
Okay. Do you lose your keys?
I lose them all the time.
Okay, know that that's him messing with you. Got it. I'm understanding. And that when you lose them, okay, because now it's going into an energy pocket of protection. Now I'm understanding what he's doing. He's like, wake up, dude, pay attention. Protection, whenever you are, when things like that happen, know that that's his way of getting you on a path of protection, of like avoiding a car accident or preventing something from happening. But he talks about a moment that someone saw somebody in public, like a stranger. Like, did you have a moment that someone looked like him?
I did see someone that resembled him.
So know that his soul was present for that. And was this a while ago? Was this
Yeah, it
kind of
was a while ago.
after he died? Okay,
Yes.
because he played with me a while ago after he died. And so I know that this is his way of getting me to that time frame. So you should know that this is his soul's way of getting your attention to truly make sure that you knew that his soul is at peace and with God. But so you could feel him in a way that you couldn't before. Because that's what they do. They do exist and they still are alive. It's just our definition of alive requires a vessel, like a body.
Right.
And this is their way of just acknowledging that their souls do exist still around you. And although you don't see them with your eyes, because we only see 3D, 3-dimensional, we do not see 5-dimensional. And that's where the souls are placed. So it's important that you know that he's around you, like literally. And that's what they do, is they bring people around their essence of their personality or their essence of their body, so that way you can feel them again. And that's just a gift. That's all that is, to truly embrace and to know that he fully is around you. And then did it take a while to like put his toiletries away or put things away, or like really kind of
Closure for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, years.
And because he shows me you like alone by yourself crying in the shower, in the car, and really just expressing yourself on your own. And when they show me a mask, it means like we put up the front because
Yep.
nobody truly understands how I feel. And I don't want to talk about it to anybody because nothing you can say to me truly makes me feel better. So I'm not going to talk about it.
Yep.
So this is his way of acknowledging your emotion when you were going through this. So you know for a fact that what you felt was him. Did you keep his phone?
Yeah.
I've never had this soul show me like keeping a phone.
Yeah.
Is it in there?
Yeah, it's in the closet.
Because he shows me phone related things like voicemails or texts and pictures, and like going through the things and
Yeah.
and really embracing his memory and his legacy. I keep hearing like you and family say he would have made a great dad, or he would have really made a great dad for her. Like, and so know that he is coming forward and saying, I have been a great dad for her, and I have been there still. Just how do you connect to dragonflies? How do you understand the dragonfly?
I see him all the time.
Oh, I love it. So
And I never understand why they're around. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yes. Okay. So this is a spiritual thing for you, and knowing that your loved one is there with that. And it's not that he takes shape of the dragonfly. It's just a physical visual for you to slow down and to feel his energy, and almost just say, hey, boo. Like, hey, I know you're here. And I want to thank you for showing up. I want to show gratitude for you. And to have that relationship still going. And you can still do that. He does make me feel like you guys were like souls in a past life. So do you feel like a super soul deep connection with him?
Oh yeah. I
So-
felt like he died.
So know that what you feel is real. Was there a lot of people at his funeral?
Yes,
Because he's like, dude, there was so many people.
it was at capacity. People were outside.
So
Yeah.
know that his soul was present for all of that, and he wants to thank you for the beautiful tribute to his life and how we have remembered him, and how he was laid to rest. Interesting. There's something about letting go of guilt if you can't make it to where he was buried as often, or visiting him, like slowing that down. And it's okay, because you bring him with you there. It's not that he's there waiting for you, he's around you. So know that how you choose, or how you have chosen with that, it's completely fine and good. And however you choose to do, that's up to you. Do you guys leave things at where he was buried?
Yes.
Because he showed me, it doesn't necessarily mean it's that, but he put like a windmill type thing that blows. Put it.
She put one out there for him, and it was a windmill.
Oh my gosh! So know that your dad's soul was present for that, because I'm seeing it blow. I'm seeing it go in the wind. So this is interesting, because I don't think you're Catholic. How do you connect to the rosary or a cross necklace?
My oldest daughter's dad had one.
And is that the other?
Yeah. His mom, I believe, still has it.
Okay. But you're not Catholic, correct?
No.
Okay. Because I didn't feel like you were Catholic as I'm connected to your soul. But then I'm like, someone's knocking on my door and showing me a rosary.
Yeah, rosary.
Is your oldest daughter really, really smart academically?
Yes.
Like honors, or like
Yes.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
Yeah.
So is she gonna graduate?
she graduates next year.
Okay. So know that this is his way of validating his soul will be present for her graduation, by showing me like honors, or like really, really itchy. She shows she's just beautiful, and like well put together.
Yeah, that's
Your
her.
daughter,
Yeah.
like is she thin?
Yes, very much so. He used to call her Slim.
So because he shows her to me, and he's making me feel so much proudness and so much fulfillment watching her become the woman that she is today, and how he will not be missing beats when it comes to her life. But is music real big for her? Does she listen to music?
All the time.
Okay, so know that he's showing her to me, and really allowing me to feel her energy and her soul. And you have beautiful girls inside and out. Like you should have nothing to worry about. And you have these dads that are really protecting them on the other side and really guiding them. Is your oldest daughter torn on which college to go to? I realize she has another year. Okay, but like she won't have a problem getting in. Okay,
No,
yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Yes.
And so she should just know to trust, but she holds a lot of pressure. He's like, she needs to take some of that pressure off, and don't forget to have fun, and don't forget to really just take those deep breaths in and really trust what you feel to be right, because it's almost like she wants to make one choice, but it's not the best choice that others would view her as doing or taking. It's like, I want to do this because I think that this would make me feel more fulfilled and happy. But at the opportunity, like I would be silly if I don't take this one. So he's almost encouraging this other, like what she really wants to do. So however, okay. So however you connect to that, and whatever she connects as far as like just fulfillment and joy and happy, making sure that she lives for herself and not for others.
Yeah, we just she's in the IB program, the International Baccalaureate, and she wanted to do the certificate instead of like the full blown IB. And she's like, I just want to have fun. She said that, she's like, I'm just trying to have fun. And I did not want to let her do it, but I let her go down to the certificate.
So then you understand the leveling and the fun and like, oh my gosh, okay. Because I don't know why they're having me talk about these things. So as long as
It was a real big, it was a big deal.
I love that. So you know that this is his way of talking about the openness that you have with your children and allowing them to express themselves emotionally and being there for them and letting them talk to you in ways that they can understand, and you talk to them like they understand. Like it's just a very good relationship, and how you allow guidance but not control. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So know that in all things that you've done and how you've supported your children, they're supporting you in your decisions and choices. It's interesting. So does someone have like a full-time job, and then does like DoorDash or something like that on the side?
No. Well, my fiance, he has a full-time job and he works for a CVS on the side.
Okay. That's your fiance. Got it. It doesn't mean that it was DoorDash. That's just how they get to me to say something else on the side.
Mhm.
I feel like you've leveled up with your men.
I have.
Like I feel like the first soul and then the second, and then I'm connected to your fiance, and I'm like, whoa, I feel responsible. I feel like we got a real good head on our shoulders,
Yeah.
and we are saving money, and we're being
Well, yeah, that's
and we're being smart, and it's just good.
definitely leveled up.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh my God. They just said she needs to stop being fearful that something will happen to him.
Oh my God. I think that all the time.
So, in a way, they're kind of showing me purpose with losing individuals of that magnitude. And they keep saying, and look at her life, look at her life. So if those things wouldn't have happened, you wouldn't have been here.
Okay.
And although during those times it was very dark and depressed and sad, like it's very down. They're giving me a plate. I call it a plate of understanding, so we can chew on it, so we can kind of really allow ourselves to process reason. And I'm grateful for you because I can feel in your soul and your heart that you have not forgotten about it, but you've not allowed it to control your life.
Yeah.
And they're showing me that you have grown into this one of the strongest people know. And it's like people talk to you like they know you. People express their concerns and problems to you about their life. Is this true?
Yeah, all the time.
Because that's what they're showing me. And you're a light. And with your darkness, you've found light, and you help others find their light.
Yeah.
But it's important that because you're an empath and that you carry people's emotions, you have to give it right back to them, okay?
Okay.
And because it's not your baggage to carry. Just be the guide, like, girl, I think you should do this, but if you don't, like, no, it's like just hold on to your own life and just be the light for people, be the ears for people, and that's it. Like, just don't hold on to their stuff, because I almost feel like you hear something and then 4 days later you're still thinking about how they're getting through it, and it's
God, that's me.
yeah, so just let that go. Make sure that you're giving and breathing that out back to them, because you only have a certain amount of space in your energy field and your space, and you already have enough like you have plenty. And so they're just encouraging me to tell you to kind of learn to wash that out, to breathe that out. But they keep pointing to you, I believe, and talking about occupation career. So did you get a different kind of job, or did you shift industries or something?
I did totally shift. I went from being a cosmetologist, and I'm graduating from nursing school in 3 months.
So know that they're there for that, and they're so excited for you, and that they've been the one really pushing you through that. And that feeling of like, no, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump in and have all faith that this will work out. That was them pushing you through that.
Wow.
And there was something about money never being an issue, but like, don't worry about money. So I don't know. Was money an issue, but like not an issue?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you had fear of not having enough financials, but then it was fine.
Yes.
Okay. Because that's their way of validating that they were there for you as far as lending a hand with where you are in your life, where you've come and where you're going.
Okay.
And so really what we need to do, because also I feel like I'm walking every day of my life with the fear of a phone call that something's going to happen to my kids or something's going to happen to my fiance. Like I have the fear of people dying around me because it's happened to you one too many times.
Yeah.
So they're taking that burden and they're taking accountability for how they've made you feel. It is not your burden to carry. Give that to them. And it's time for you to breathe fully again and to embrace the life that you've been blessed with without the fear that something will happen.
Okay.
And they just said, of course you can get through anything. You've already gone through everything. So know that it's time, because they're showing me you're not fully enjoying yourself. You're not fully enjoying this life. And I understand. I mean, gosh, you've gone through 2 big losses and, other things. So, but this is their way of acknowledging and coming forward with your happiness and joy, because now I just feel like your life is really, really good in comparison to where it was.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
So you've been blessed with that.
Yeah.
You've paid your dues. You've earned this part of your life. And I can understand feeling like any second it could be taken away from you, just like that. And so this is their opportunity of really allowing you to see what it's worth and the value, and for you to appreciate it even more, but more importantly, to enjoy it.
Okay.
So is your oldest daughter going to be moving out of the area to a school? Because
Yeah, she said she knows for sure she's moving out of state. She's not staying here. Yeah.
because they're like, she has a problem, she's going to be moving out of state.
Yeah. And I kept saying, I'm just gonna follow you.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I just saw like a pile of trash. I feel like I'm outside. Is there like, and then I feel like they're placing me in my garage, and I'm looking at all my trash in my garage. So is there something with trash day, or like something where we need to take out a big bulk of trash? How do you understand this bunch of trash?
The house that me and her dad was in, the garage needs to be redone and tore out, and yeah, I have some work to do over there.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I keep putting it off, but yeah.
So then you know that this is important for you to know that because I feel like I'm walking into your space and I'm being triggered.
It's hard for me to go over there.
Yeah. So this is, again, their acknowledgement of taking that burden from you of it's because he's like, it's my fault. Like that she feels that way. So I need that. I need to feel like she needs to give that to me. That's not something that you should have to carry. You should be able to walk into that space and be okay. And he wants you to be okay. But more importantly, speak to him in that space. Connect to him in that space when you go the next time. But you can connect to them anywhere. You can speak to them anywhere. And but I keep feeling like I hear his voice in the sense like when I connect to you. So anytime you feel like you could hear him say something to you, like I can hear him say blah blah blah. Like how sometimes we can hear their voices still. Yeah. So know that that's him. But do you have something with his handwriting? Did he like write you something, or do you have his greeting cards or something?
I was just going through some
A
old
box?
stuff and I found a card he wrote me.
So know that when you were going through those things, his soul was present with that. Were you silent crying?
Yeah.
Like, because he showed me you crying, but I hear no audio.
Yeah.
So I'm just teary eyed and just looking at it.
You're good.
That's them,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I've just surrendered enough to be okay with being wrong, because it's not about me. They're showing me what I see, and I'm like, if I'm interpreting that wrong, I don't care. I'm going to say what I see. That's all what this is. So interesting. He shows me your daughter, right next to you, with some girls. Were you, and I feel you're just such an older soul that it's hard to see eye to eye with kids your age, in the sense of like, that's why he made me feel like you do, like, deal with the BS. I feel like you're a really good friend to others. But was there like friction with a girl, or did you have like a disagreement with a girl?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like he's like, but she did nothing wrong. Like, she wasn't in the wrong. So I don't know if did you just like speak up for yourself, or confront, or talk about something that was an issue? How do you understand?
I think it's when this girl put cookies in her hair, crumble cookies and put in her hair.
Crumble cookies?
Yeah, she crumbled like some
Oh,
Oreos.
I'm like, what a waste of crumble.
Yeah, no. And just, doused her on her head.
Okay. So you did nothing wrong. That makes sense. Like, there was nothing you did wrong. Was this like a year or two ago?
No, this was like 2 months ago.
Oh, 2 months ago. Okay, that's because I'm like, I saw 2 and I didn't know if it was like 2 years ago. So this is 2 months ago, even better. Because the more the recent things that have happened, the better. But I just don't feel like did you just kind of turn the other cheek? Kind of like, did you just, yeah. So he's proud of how you've handled that situation. He's proud with the girl and the woman that you're becoming, and your personality and your characteristics is very honorable, and to continue that and to stay on that track. And he keeps saying, stay in your lane. You're going to achieve so much. Okay.
That sounds like him. That's funny.
You're a good kid. And that's why he kept showing me like kids around you. And it's like, I don't understand you guys, because these little things that really matter to you doesn't really matter to me.
She says that all the time.
So know that this is your way of validating that your dad is truly around you, supports your decisions, and is really guiding her through her life. And I keep seeing you reading. Do you read?
Yeah.
She loves to read.
Okay, so this is where we have this mental space, like we can deal with anxieties, or we can deal. Oh, so he's also talking about, sweetie, like when you feel like anxiety bubbles in your stomach, and if you feel any pressure like on your chest, this goes for anybody, then that you should know that that's spirit around you, and you feel souls around, like, so that's what you're picking up on. So whether that's happened or whether that's going to happen, know that you can identify that with that and acknowledge them. All you say is, hey, Dad, thank you for being here. And you can actually have a real conversation with them, because their spirit is there. You should also remember that we are all souls. The only difference is that our soul right now is just in a body that needs to be living to hold our purpose in life, but that doesn't make you purposeless after you die. So souls have great purpose on the afterlife, and a big part of that is getting you to your finish line. Does that make sense? And it's not to be scared of. We shouldn't be afraid of death. They're saying we should not be afraid of death. and we shouldn't have any negative connotations to passing over. We shouldn't have any negative connotations. He's like, they both were like, I just need her to know I didn't experience pain. I didn't suffer. And I didn't feel anything bad. It looked worse than what it was.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
So if that means that you let go of that feeling of you thinking he experienced something bad as far as pain and suffering, this is his way. Is his grandmother passed? Does he have a grandmother that's passed?
Yes, her dad's grandmother has passed. Well, actually, they both have.
Yes, this is her dad showing me. And then there's a man, he's bringing forward like a male. So is his grandfather or
Yeah.
father passed?
His grandfather's passed.
Okay. So know that when he died, he wasn't alone. They all came for him.
Okay.
Someone said, no, I died after. So then I'm like, this is what this is. I'm like, okay, no, somebody died after. So grandfather died before him,
Mm-hmm.
and then grandma died after.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what, because they corrected me. So they were like, no, I died after. So, okay, so grandfather though was there before, and then grandmother. Okay, got it. I love that. Isn't that cool when they correct me? I love that because I'm like, yes, I want to make sure I'm telling her right. So thank you for correcting that. I just saw Domino's pizza, like pizza.
Layla, that's my oldest daughter. She asked, could we have pizza today?
Oh, today?
She texted me this morning and asked, could we have pizza for dinner? Domino's.
At Domino's?
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
No. And I told her, does she have pizza money?
So that was today.
That was today. That was this morning.
And it was Domino's?
Yep.
I'm having a moment.
Where
Listen,
we always go.
he could have showed me Little Caesars. He could have showed me Papa Murphy's. He could have showed me any other pizza. He showed me Domino's pizza.
That's where we
Always
always
favorite.
go. These kids love Domino's.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Like, that's amazing. So just know, he just is there with you guys, and he knows what's going on. They both do. And then with somebody, so I just keep feeling like I'm making necklaces out of beads or a jewelry kit or
Well, my oldest daughter had, when her dad died, we took his thumbprint and we put it on a necklace and she wears it all the time. So I don't know.
So you
if
guys
it's
had a
that.
necklace made for
From his
him.
thumbprint, yeah.
Is there so do you understand the yellow roses that I'm seeing, or the carnations or yellow flowers? I'm seeing yellow carnations or roses. I feel like I saw yellow roses. Is yellow.
Trying to remember. Someone had yellow roses. I don't remember who.
There was yellow roses.
Mm-hmm.
Was he buried with something?
Well, her dad was buried with a picture of her.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, did he have yellow roses there? I don't remember.
Because he showed me my sign that he wants to bring up that he is acknowledging what was buried with the casket. Again, and with him. So let me ask you, because he shows me what appears to be her as a baby, looking up at certain things and acknowledging certain things that weren't there, or like having moments. Do you remember her having moments when she was younger?
She used to do that all the time.
So know that that was him,
Okay.
and that you're not going crazy when you feel like it's him.
Okay.
Both like when you feel spirit around you, when you feel like toys going off, or things like that, like things that are weird and peculiar and crazy. And it's just like, I have no idea. But they keep showing me protection because they keep showing me you turning left instead of right at certain times, like maybe going to work or something. I don't know. Or like changing up a pattern or changing up a routine. When it comes to driving, I don't know what that is. So usually that just means, again, preventing something from happening.
Like I drive kind of crazy. So maybe they're saying, hey, drive right.
Right, yeah, chill out. But did somebody go through an experience where they should have been more harmed by it? Because they keep making me feel like I walked away from something that I should have been actually more harmed by it, but I was okay. Was this you?
My sister, she got into a wreck really bad and flipped 3 times right after my oldest daughter's dad died, like a month after.
Okay. So
And
know that,
she didn't have 1 scratch on her.
okay. So know that that's that, and your loved ones are just coming forward and acknowledging protection and showing up and saying like, there was this and they could have had, they could have been more harmed. But that's where the driving came in, because I'm like, why are you guys showing me driving and driving routine? And then they showed me something should have been, somebody would have been more harmed if it wasn't for our protection. So I saw Donald Duck. Are you guys, was there like Disney or something with Disney? I saw Donald Duck.
Yes, we went on a Disney cruise and we went to Disney World.
After he died?
Yeah.
Okay. But I keep feeling like I'm seeing like a shirt or a hat with Donald Duck on it or something with Donald Duck. So I don't know if there's actually something with that with Donald Duck. I usually don't see Donald Duck. I usually see Mickey. But anyway, so now that you took him
Donald
with,
Duck mask.
huh?
She has a Donald Duck mask that she wears.
That's amazing. Oh, like something has to have Donald Duck on it because they keep showing
I'm
Donald
like,
Duck.
really, Donald Duck? Who has Donald Duck? But yeah, she's like, I have a Donald Duck mask. I'm like, oh, okay. There you go. There's
Oh,
it.
that's so great. That's so great. Oh my gosh. Wow. Woo. Well, you should just know that they've done an incredible job at validating themselves and acknowledging it's just time to truly embrace your life that you've been blessed with, letting go of any guilt or burdens, but more importantly, living the life that you've deserved and really falling into your happiness and joy that they are lending a hand and being a part of for you.
Okay.
You deserve it. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
So they did an incredible job at showing up for you today, and I'm sending you all the best. And I can't
Thank you so
thank you
much.
enough for trusting me with the souls of your loved ones. And I just am so grateful for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I'm sending you all the love.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.